Now picture this. You start reaching out to sellers through all marketing channels, cold call, text, mail, PPC, all those types. And then when you get those leads, now you obviously have to qualify those to see if they're a good fit for you, so you're able to sell that property, whether that's like a wholesale flip or keep it also as a rental. And then the good news, that deal become a signed deal. And now you'll be happy, you know, you're good, you signed that deal, you negotiated with the seller on the price, on the terms, all that, and now it looks good. Now you're looking forward to close on that deal. So you go and open escrow so the title company can start working on this one. Let's say, for example, if you're trying to wholesale it, now you're looking to dispo that deal, and now you're really counting your money. Okay, we have it under agreement for this one, we have the buyer ready to go, deposit, EMD, all that great, right? And now here's the challenge, here's the roadblock, is that you get those emails or calls from the title company telling you there is a bunch of messy liens or challenges that you have to overcome in order to close on that deal. And now what do? You either keep it, following up with it, with the title company, see hopefully they'll be able to solve it themselves, or maybe you just walk away from the deal, cancel the deal, and you would have to redo the whole thing all over again by reaching out to sellers, generating leads, converting those leads into a deal, then signed deal, and then off we go with the same process. Because again, there was lien, perhaps couldn't solve it, or if you solve it, now you'll be able to close and get those assignment agreement or assignment fees that you have converted into, you know, revenue for the business. And so dealing with properties that has liens on them, it really could be very challenging here, because you could have the risk and reward, you get that reward, or you could really have that, you know, you put the risk and then really would be more, you wasted time, effort, team, and now also like an opportunity cost, because you're working on this deal, you won't be able to work on other deals, which really makes it, you know, lost revenue for both the one that you worked on and the potential one that, you know, basically the opportunity cost. And so in today's presentation, I wanted to do this more like presentation, a class, that you guys can really get benefit from it. My name is Waleed Yousif. I'm a real estate investor here in the Valley. We do wholesale, we do flip, and we do rentals as well. Now, majority of our deals that we focus more on, it's wholesales, right? Just like you guys do the same thing. Majority of you guys' business are, you know, wholesale, right? So same thing for, you know, for us. We do wholesale as, you know, majority of our business. Now, if we have other, you know, light fix and flip or rental, then we will definitely do that. So, first of all, thank you for you guys, you know, coming here. So I wanted to really do that both, like in person, and also have it, you know, as a, you know, digital recorded, so be able to share it with other people as well. And so, again, if you have any question, definitely let me know for this one. So I'm going to start first really with you know, some background information about the lien. So the issue really with the lien, it's really it's more like a roadblock. It's like a claim. You can't really close on the property, especially if you're getting a loan on this property. You have to clear all that in order to get you know, clear title policy. right? And here's the thing too, the title company has to satisfy that in order to issue that for you guys. Otherwise, the title company, they could pretty much won't do it, and then just pass it and just refuse to close that deal. And now you really have to either solve or satisfy what they want, or really you have to maybe cancel or find something else. Majority of our deals, right, the ones that we reach out to sellers, right, they're usually distressed, right? I would assume you guys do the same exact thing, right? Which kind of leads that you guys reach out, right? You guys do foreclosure, probate, divorce, right? So those are all distress, right? Distressed leads. And so with distressed leads, you are gonna have, they're also not just distressed in real estate, they're also distressed financially, they're distressed something else as well. And so you will see this almost more often because of that, right? And it becomes really common in your deal. And so this is why you would have to solve it. Otherwise, you would have to burn into a lot of leads to be able to generate a clear title, good to go. Now, every once in a while, you'll get that, like there is no lien, clean, no probate, no divorce, nothing. Though you will get those, but again, majority of them, because we're reaching out to distressed sellers, you will get those liens, those judgments, and those problems coming in to it. Now, why you guys should listen to me. Now, we have been doing this for the last 5 years. At first it started that we would reach out, we generate leads, and then we literally get this for that deal, we lock in the buyer for it, we're good to go. Just then to realize that we have lien that we can overcome, or solve that lien or get that release from it. And then we would check a couple times with the title company to see if they have any follow-up on it. But really, technically, the title company really wouldn't work that much on it. They all have to do just reach out and be like, okay, what's the payoff? Which that really wouldn't work, because now we have a challenge. And then what we would have to do is that we would just cancel the deal and then move on into the next one, hoping there is no lien. And so until we reach out that, we have to solve those liens. We have to find a way, we have to understand them. And so we've been doing this. We have pretty much came across all kind of liens, and we were able to solve those liens and get the reward. And at the same time too, we were able to solve a lot of liens, and we really didn't make much money of it because of the the lien, the payoff. In this training, we're going to talk about these couple things. One, we want to talk about really what is a lien, right? You want to understand, you want to understand, okay, what's the lien, type of liens, right? What type they are, how lien works, right? How that works, understanding that lien, so you'll be able to understand it and know how it works as well. And the most important thing really is to how to get rid of that lien, right? Because again, as I said, if you don't get rid of that lien, then you can't really close. And if you can't close, you cannot really generate income, and you really can't close that deal. To start with, what is a lien? A lien is a claim or legal right against assets that are typically used as a collateral to satisfy a debt. A creditor or a legal judgment could establish a lien. So a lien serves to guarantee an underlying obligation, such as repayment of a loan. Okay, so let's kind of like really address that, right? People or companies, when let's say sellers go and borrow money, they use the real estate, right, as a this is why really real estate is really amazing, because you can really use it as collateral, right? And so what they do is that, let's say when they borrow money, they use that real estate to basically kind of like guarantee their pay to get paid. And so they would put a lien on that property. And so if for any reason the borrower or the seller, you know, decide not to pay, then guess what? When the time come in to close on that property, well, they have to or sell that property, well, they have to satisfy those liens. As I said, the title company now, they have to satisfy those liens to issue a insurance title policy. And so they can't do that without satisfying those liens. The first one, most common one that you will see, and usually this is the first one, it's bank lien, right? It's often guaranteed when, you know, individual take a loan from a bank to purchase an asset or to purchase that property. Again, that you will see it in the form of deed of trust or a mortgage. When, you know, when a bank, you know, lend money, they have to secure that money and use that real estate as a collateral for that money. So if for any reason that, you know, the homeowner decided not to pay, right, what they do, exactly, they foreclose on that property and they'll be able to, you know, to get that. The second one is a judgment lien. Now, judgment lien is a lien placed on assets by courts, which usually result of a lawsuit, right? So now this one, it's basically they have filed a lawsuit, right? And the other party win against the homeowner. And now that placed the judgment really on them and as well as on the property. So when they, you know, when you see sellers, when they sell those, you know, sell those properties, and they have judgment on them, right? Which really, since they are the owners of that property, they still have to satisfy that that judgment before, you know, before they sell that property. And so that's almost kind of like, you know, guarantee the, you know, the judgment holder or the lien holder that they will get paid. And usually you will see on those judgments, right, there is, you know, 10%, 12% rate. So let's say if they start with, you know, 10,000, right? And they said annually 10% rate on it. And so as years goes by, sometimes those are like 5, 6, 10 years. Well, guess what? All those accumulating, and they have to be, you know, they have to be satisfied. So that's really for, you know, for the judgment. Mechanics lien, right? So you'll see this often with, you know, contractors, right? They basically, they do work with the homeowner to fix something, you know, maybe a roof, plumbing, or, you know, whatever, you know, contractor work inside or outside that, you know, the house. However, they then later they'll, you know, they'll get to disagreement, right? I'm sure you guys have seen those, you know, kind of like videos on, you know, on social media when you get those, you know, contractors, they don't get paid, right? They get pissed off, and what they do. Have you guys seen that video? Right? What do they do? Exactly. They go and destroy what they basically fixed, right? Now, obviously, this is kind of like taking it to the extreme, because now there's consequences. Now you really would be kind of like, you know, liable legally there, because now you're destroying someone else's property. And so the legal way to take it, it's the mechanics lien. So that's how contractors usually use that to get paid. Real estate lien. Now, you guys probably familiar with it. Perhaps you guys maybe have already done that before. what happened when, you know, seller back you out, or now is basically ghosting you, you know, and you didn't do anything wrong, or let's say, you know, a buyer basically back you in and go behind your back and then talk to the seller. What do you guys do? Right, you do memorandum, right? And what happened when you guys do memorandum? Right, so the title company now reached out to you, right? So they wanted to satisfy your lien, right? In order for them to close on the property, right? So obviously you can't do that a lot because that's kind of would be an issue, but that's really the base of it. And the last one, it's the tax lien, right? You will see this, you know, city tax lien, you know, county, you know, IRS, you know, those liens, right? You will see those. Let's say if they don't pay the city, they don't pay, then obviously they have those, you know, liens. So those are several statutory liens, which we will talk about it, meaning lien created by law instead of created by, you know, contract. So you got to understand one thing is that when you get those liens, right, you want to see what type they are, right? Because each one of them, perhaps they have different solution, different way to navigate those, you know, those liens. So the first thing you want to, when you get to know there's a lien on the property, we got to ask what type of lien is on that property. All right, so now we talked about like really understanding the lien. We talked about the types, right? We really wanted to have, you know, understanding of how liens works, right? How do those liens work? So the way it really works, there are three things you want to know about, is that the time, position, and priority. Okay, so let's start first with the time. So the time basically it is that the first get in the line, or kind of like that. So whoever is first in time, you know, that would be more like the priority that they will, you know, will be. So let's say if you have a lien on that property, you recorded it first to the county, now the time make you kind of the priority on time, because you recorded instead of, let's say, someone else recorded it the day after. So now in time, you're the first, and then the second, whoever record after you, then that would be after you, basically. So the time is very, very important. The position is that also where it's just going to put you. So where is that going to put you in the liens position? For example, are you first lien position? Are you second lien position? Are you third lien position? And so on, right? And that's what makes it with the time. So the first person who record that lien, that would take the first position to it. Let's talk about the priority right now. We talked about the mortgage. We talked about mortgage company, the lenders, that they want to be in the first position. And we talked about the time as well, how that important to put you in that position, right? Now, even though you have the mortgage company in the first position and you may be in the second position, let's say if you have, you know, memorandum of contract lien, right? In the second position or third position. And let's say, for example, there is a property tax, you know, the homeowner decided not to pay the property tax, right? And so what's going to happen, the priority now, it takes to the taxes, or kind of like for the government, and not all the government entities, but for the property taxes, you know, the county taxes, that really take priority. So they'll basically go in to the first line, even though it was established that, you know, there is a mortgage company in the first position, and then you, for example, you have memorandum of contract, a second position. Now, the the property taxes, right? The county property taxes takes priority on all of those and will be the first when the homeowner decides not to pay the property taxes. And so you can see kind of like the government have really way around it to be really the first, even though, you know, other people, they have to, even if they come in after, you know, time and position, after, you know, the mortgage, your lien, you know, position, they still can automatically be in the first position because, you know, they're government, I guess. All right, so now we want to talk about to understanding liens, right? So we want to understand liens. We already talked about how it works, so let's also understand them into more categories. Okay, so we talked about statutory liens, right? I just gave you guys an example of, you know, let's say even if it's a mortgage company, it's in the first position, you have a memorandum of contract, for example, or, you know, mechanics lien in the second position. Well, statutory, you know, statutory lien would be like, you know, property taxes, water, sewer, and some of HOA, right? So some of HOA, that would be as well. So those people will take priority. So they'll take the position, the first position out of whoever is in the first position, and they'll basically sit right in front of the of that, you know, the property basically. And so, and they'll continue to, you know, continue to foreclose and, you know, take it from there. So that's the statutory, right? Now we have the voluntarily, right? Which that would be, you know, first mortgage, second mortgage, right? So those are, you know, voluntarily, you know, obviously the homeowner, you know, when reached out to the lender to lend them money to purchase a property, and that's how, you know, be able to get that. And for those people, that's why, you know, the mortgage company has said, yeah, this is a voluntarily, and they'll be on the first position to secure their interest. Involuntarily, that's where the judgment or, you know, the mechanical lien, and those really works how, as I said, the time and position. So those would be the important of, you know, time and the position for them. So the judgment, again, whoever goes and recorded that that judgment, you know, they'll have more priority on the position of lien. Now it's really the most important step would be really how to get rid of that lien, right? That's literally the most important part of it. How you can get, you know, rid of that. One, see if it's possibly get expired, you know. So sometimes those liens are way back, right? They're way back 10, 15 years. And so that might be already got expired. So you want to check, you know, statutory for that, you know, lien type to see. Because if it's already expired, guess what? You can bring that to the title company, showing them the recorded date and really when you're planning to close. And if it's expired, guess what? They can, you know, void it. Also check with that company, right? Check also if it's filed correctly, if they have that information correctly there, you know, because sometimes they have to also follow that information to, you know, to contact them back. And sometimes, you know, the lien holder really didn't really fill out that lien correctly. So check on that. And also, pro tip here, sometimes is that attorney who helped them file it, probably they're no longer doing business with that lien holder. So that's, you know, that's different. You want to see if the lien holder, you know, that company, if they went out of business, retired or closed the business basically. Third way, it's really nicely ask them for it. so you'll be surprised many times that, you know, we we would reach out, we explain to them the, financial situation that the seller is, and nicely we would ask for the release of that lien, or partial release, at least partial release, to let us close, right? Because here's another pro tip: you don't need full release of that lien. You just need partial release from that, so they can close on that property. Sometimes they could still be, having that lien against that person. However, they will give a partial release, so they would let the closing, pass through. Check as well if there is, qualification that the seller has that really, makes it, qualified to dismiss that or remove that lien. For example, if that property, it's a homestead property, and here in Texas, really, you can be able to to get that partial release from it, because they're homestead, or if they're senior, or they're maybe VA. So you want to check and see. Obviously, those do change. That's why you want to check and see what qualification that they may have could satisfy you removing that lien. The last one, really, what we have done before, basically we try to reach out to them. They don't, we try to negotiate, we try to see what we can help with. However, they basically said no, right? They would not negotiate, they would not do any of that on that lien, and so we just purchase it subject to. So subject to the existing lien in place. So lien basically just stay there. Maybe later on in the future we'll contact them again and see if they now would be willing to do that. So those are really the things that wanted to talk to you guys. So you want to use that as a class, as use that presentation, understanding the lien, knowing how it works, the type, and as well as how to get rid of. Now the final thought I want to share with you, because again too, is that when you try to reach out to distressed sellers, you will see this coming quite often on those deals. And so you want really to see if as they say, is the juice worth the squeeze, right? Because those are really time consuming too. You have to reach out to the lien holder, see if they would be willing to negotiate, to give partial release. It could take a long time, and those are usually like you're dealing with attorney office. Sometimes they respond after like a month, or two, or even worse. Some of them actually did respond to us after 5 months, and they obviously refuse to negotiate. And so you want to evaluate those types of lien, right? As well as, let's say, for example, if it's a property taxes, right? Well, guess what? They're not going to negotiate any of that, right? They're not going to take any discount, for that. And so you want to see and understand really what type that is and how is that working. And if you'll be able to solve it or not, and what, the time that you have with that help. And so you will want to evaluate and see if that can work with you, then you move forward. If it doesn't, you have to basically, pass on that, which we have done, right? Again, we have done it successfully and we have done it unsuccessfully, and we learn, right? That's how we learn. This is how we have that presentation, that master class, for you guys to benefit, because we had literally gone through a lot of roadblock to be able to get that understanding and be able to present that and see those liens, if we're able to solve them or not. So I hope that helped. If you have any question, feel free to reach out. Now we do work with real estate agents, you guys as well too. You know, you guys brought us, you know, deals that have liens, and we were able to, you know, to solve it for you guys. We also work with wholesalers too. You know, if they have liens on their property that they can't really, you know, solve. And so feel free to reach us. Be happy to help you and work together on that deal. So be able to, you know, again, get rid of that lien, or even, you know, buy it subject to. So finally, I would love if you get any value of this. I would really appreciate you liking and subscribing to the channel. Looking to do more similar videos like this, you know, presentation masterclass. So your help would really matter supporting that channel. So if you could please like and subscribe. Till next time, this is Waleed Yousif. Take care. Thank you.